Hello YouTube, Rumman here back with another video. Now I know this face, who is this guy? It's me, it's Rumman, I'm still the same. So the fat chubby cheeks, I just voice got deeper, hair got cooler, maybe I got more handsomer. I don't know, it's your opinion. But I know I've been gone for a while. My last video was like a year and a half ago. It wasn't even a video, it was just like some stupid trailer that I drew because I was bored out of my mind. I haven't really done reviews with Rumman, even though that's something what I just like plugging most of the time. And a lot of my episodes have been very poor, and there's a reason for that. I'm not really a big editor and all that stuff, so I can't really contribute to the way actual YouTubers do. But I am a good talker. I talk a lot. I will talk hours and hours and hours, and I will just never stop if it's something that I like talking about. And lucky for you guys, and if you notice from my earlier videos, wrestling, my wrestling DVDs right there, is a subject I like talking about because I grew up with it. I started watching when I was 9. I got off when I was like about 14, 15, which is like a regular age, but I always did have an interest. I would check back in time to time. Even during this quarantine days, I watched Wrestling 36, even though I had no idea what was going on, but I still enjoyed it. It was great. And it was nice to see all the people that I grew up with, some of the wrestlers like John Cena still being there, Edge, Randy Orton. So it was definitely a great experience. And with everything that's happening in the world, I feel like, people just need entertainment, and I would like to contribute in some way, even if you're not entertained. At least I gave you the feeling of hate, and that's the greatest feeling in the world. So, I've been thinking about how to kind of come back on YouTube and how to do it without the glam, without the editing, all that stuff. And talking is the way. Reviews with Rumman, I've decided to kind of go into a way where it's just me, Rumman, reviewing things and just talking about it and how I feel. And today I'd like to talk to you about a very, special, I think, I don't want to say addition to me, obviously it's not special to me, but I think a very special reason a lot of wrestling fans got into wrestling, and it's a DVD, it's a documentary. So what I like to do is I like to do a case review, I like to show you guys how it looks like. I think what I realized on YouTube with a lot of WWE DVDs, they do case reviews, just to give people a look okay, is this something that appeals to me? How does it look like? How is it structured? And then from there, I'll talk about just the details, what it contains, matches, was it good, is it worth it? And basically, hopefully by the end of the video, if you're a WWE DVD collector like me, I know DVDs are way out of their prime. I started when DVDs were really cool. Everything's on digital now. But if you're still an old school guy and still like DVDs, or even if you have the WWE Network and you're trying to find something, hopefully this video will say, okay, maybe I'll check it out on WWE Network. So, without further ado, today I would like to discuss Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bottom line on the most popular superstar of all time. That's right, the GOAT, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And let's start with the case review. Okay, so here we are with the case review. As you can see, it says Stone Cold's title, and it's the GOAT himself. One thing you'll notice is this is actually a 4-disc set, contrary to the other documentaries that are usually 3 sets. This one is a 4-disc set, and I'll go into more detail on why that makes it special. But right now, just keep in mind it's a 4-disc set. So then we have the back, Stone Cold. Just kind of gives you a kind of like a biography type thing. I apologize, it's the first time I'm using this camera in years, so hopefully the quality is good. Maybe I'll reshoot it with my phone, we'll see. Alright, so we open it up, and one thing you notice is the sleeves itself tells you what is on each disc. And this is what I really like about DVDs like this, because, some of the DVDs I ordered don't have, the program that comes with it. So basically, there'll be a spot open, but there's no program, so you really don't know what's in the DVD, and you might have to look it up, or if you're, if you like the mystery, then by all means, it's perfect for you. But let's look into disc 1. Let me see if the lighting is good. Let me just zoom right in here. Can I zoom in here? Camera? Sorry, like I said, no, I can't fix zoom. Alright. But your disc 1 is basically just the documentary. Tells you about his how he started, how he was a football player, and then he got into ECW, he got into WCW, and then WWE, where he got his big break. Some special features, which was a couple of, I guess, vignettes that he had earlier in his career. Pretty nice, pretty good. Disc 1, very good documentary, so definitely check that out. Disc 2 is where the matches start, and like I said, it starts from his career. So the first one is from WCW, and just working through WWE. I think what I really like though is they have the Stone Cold vs. Bret Hart, the WrestleMania 13 match, which was very pivotal, and I'll discuss it later. But yeah, I really like the fact that they had that match. And then you move on to disc 3, and the match selection on this disc is actually really good. You enjoy each match, you are very much into it, and it ends off on the strongest match of all, Stone Cold versus The Rock. Let me see if I can, sorry guys, stupid thing. Let me hold it up. Let me see if that's better. Here we go. Yay! Stone Cold versus The Rock at WrestleMania 17, and I think that's a very good match to end off at, because in my opinion that was like the best match out of all 3, but I'll explain that later. What really makes this special though is this is disc 4, and it's all just promos, and not even like regular promos, his famous promos. So if you can read it here, you see my exact opinion of Bret Hart, Zamboni 316, Tyson and Austin, everything through his career, and that's such a interesting addition to the disc, because they really never did that before. Like they added any promos of wrestlers, but they never added a whole disc, and that just shows how special Austin really is, because he had a whole disc of just all his best interviews or promos or segments. And I think one wrestler deserved that, and that was The Rock, but he didn't, and that sucks. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so and then it's very simple from there. Got disc 1, disc 2. It's a very big disc set. Disc 3 and disc 4. I got lucky that I found space in my little, if you see that hole in my little disc shelf, because it's such a big DVD. But yeah, so that is the case review, and we'll move on, and I'll start giving you the details. Okay. So, hey, I'm back. Kind of the structure, if you're still very confused, it's an introduction, case review, and then face-to-face just like this. Me, my mic, and you, the YouTube or Room on Cream audience, all 4 of you. I love you all. Thank you. So, like I said, Stone Cold Steve Austin. So basically, he made his debut back in 1995, and this was when he was coming back out of ECW, and before that he was in WCW. I mean, he made his very first ring appearance in 1989. If you guys have the WWE Network, check out the Broken Skull session with Stone Cold and The Undertaker, and it was really nice to watch, because it really gave a lot of insight on how far these two go back, and they started around the same time, so it's very interesting. You wouldn't think that, but it's true. So basically, when Stone Cold Steve Austin came into WWE, he was pretty much frustrated. When he was in WCW, he actually did have success. He was known as Stunning Steve Austin, and he was in a stable, and he was doing good. He was like a well-hated heel, and I think that's like very successful, because when the audience hates you, you're doing something right, and that's usually often what wrestlers like to say in these old documentaries. So the documentary does talk about that, and before I even go on, the documentary is amazing, because it basically just tells you about the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin, how he became Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because a thing about the WWE is, even though it's not scripted, even though it is scripted, and a lot of people like to rib on and say, oh, it's all fake stuff. It's very hard to get an established character, because gimmicks are not easy, and we've seen that as WWE fans throughout the very years. One example is Mordecai. Original plan for him was he was going to be the opposite of The Undertaker. Undertaker was darkness, he was going to be light, which is why he always wore white. But, that didn't work out that well. We saw him for like a month, and the plans got scrapped, and the guy became Kevin Thorne, which also was pretty bad. So, these things are always a hit and miss. So with Stone Cold, in WCW, he was told that he wouldn't really make, and he wasn't going to be a star. That's what a lot of the wrestler stories who came from WCW to WWE hear. Like, oh, you're not going to be anything, you're not going to be a star, but when they come to WWE, whoa, well, they're the biggest star to ever roam the planet. So when he came into WWE, Vince McMahon, they gave him the ringmaster, and basically he had Ted DiBiase as his manager, and he had the $1 Million Championship, and that's how, he was known, the ringmaster, But then, like, the character became stale, and also Ted DiBiase ended up jumping ship to WCW. Stone Cold came in at a very rough time. He came in when the WCW Monday Night Wars was happening, when Monday Night Raw was getting their ass handed to them by WCW every week for 2 years straight. And so at the time, his gimmick was bad, and he really didn't know what to do, so he asked for a change, and they gave him a list of names, and from there he chose Steve Austin, and that's how he kind of started developing the character we know now. But it was tough, because with the Monday Night Wars going on, I can't even imagine what the wrestlers were going through. and thinking every week, oh, we might be out of business. WCW might put us out of business, and it's very rough. But with Stone Cold, he managed to kind of gain control and kind of make the character what he wanted to make and build it to what we know now. I think the breakthrough is when he wins the King of the Ring against Jake the Snake Roberts, and he says his famous Austin 316 line, and that just basically catapulted him into what he is today. And it's so interesting to watch it because it wasn't really meant to be a catchphrase. Apparently, the story behind that was Austin just really didn't know what to cut on the promo, so he kind of went with it, and then he was just like, okay, well, he reads the Bible, let me just say something like that, and he said Austin 316, and the next time on Raw, Austin 316 poster just appeared, every fan was holding it, and that's when WWE officials knew, okay, maybe this is the guy who can help us out of the war, and he did. The documentary basically kind of shifts into how he got into his feud with Mr. McMahon, and how that just started gaining momentum, how he ushered in. We cannot deny Stone Cold Steve Austin was one of the main reasons Attitude Era kind of ushered in, along with DX and all those character revamps. And, it was nice to know the background, because I wasn't born during this era. I was born in 1997. So all this stuff that happened, I was a baby. I got in after the Ruthless Aggression, or even when it was still Ruthless Aggression, 06, whatever you guys count 06 as. And, so I learned about Stone Cold Steve Austin by looking on YouTube. I kind of just went back, I sat down, I said, okay, let me look at the WWE's, back known as WWF, let me look at their product, let me see exactly what led to this, because clearly, the first time I saw him on television, he was very much well established, and I was like, who is this guy, why is he such a big deal, but I liked him, and I wanted to know more. And, the more research I did, the more intrigued I was. But the thing is, with YouTube, you don't really get access to everything. When you buy, a documentary, you get a lot of access, because it basically details, how he became who he is. Like I said, now you can probably catch this on the WWE Network if you want, and it is there. So, why not give it a try? Because it's a good documentary. It tells you about Austin McMahon, and then how Austin became the top guy, how The Rock also became the top guy, and how they started clashing, and how their feud became one of for me, in my opinion, one of the best feuds in WWE history, and how they won the WCW Monday Night War, and then it basically kind of dwindles down to the end of his career, his neck injury, his last match, how he sometimes had some disagreements with WWE, and all around this documentary is actually excellent, and it really, if you're a very big WWE fan, and you like hearing about how certain things happened, this is definitely a DVD for you. So the documentary, I want to say, if I had to rate it, I'd give it a 10 out of 10, because it really shows you about how much he struggled to get where he is. And that's true for almost every WWE wrestler. Every single documentary I have, they have struggled. But it's different struggles, and that's why it's always nice to see how they overcame that and became the superstar they are, that we see today on TV. So that's disc 1. Disc 1 is pretty great. Disc 2 is where the matches start, and like I said earlier in the case review, it starts off with WCW. It starts off with his early career, and then kind of just, progresses. So, we get to see Stunning Steve Austin versus Gentleman Chris Adams. Honestly, those WCW matches aren't that bad. Especially that tag team match, that was very much enjoyable, because you had Ric Flair, you had Sting, you had Ricky Steamboat, that. Those are really big names. Because those guys were still at their primes. They're not that old yet. They're still at their prime. So it was really cool to see that kind of dynamic. And like I said, I wasn't really alive during that time, so it was really cool to kind of see what WCW was back then, and why it gave the better product to WWE. And then we kind of go into how his Stone Cold Steve Austin phase. So you get the Jake the Snake Roberts match, and then you get that promo. And then I think one of the best matches on Disc 2 is the Bret Hart vs. Stone Cold at WrestleMania 13. And this was a very big match, because it shifted the momentum. The match was where Bret was the good guy, Stone Cold was the bad guy. And, Stone Cold was just being a dickhead to Bret Hart, all that stuff, just doing Stone Cold stuff. And the match was amazing. The match was about even 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And the chemistry is amazing, the storytelling is amazing, the ending is the best part. Basically what happens is Bret locks Stone Cold Steve Austin in a sharpshooter, he's bleeding, and he's just not letting go. And what really makes the moment magical is the shift in the audience, because the audience obviously is behind Bret Hart, but when that moment happens, they're just kind of like, whoa, 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 what's going on here, man? You know, Bret's not letting go, Stone Cold's not giving up. The audience seems to kind of shift and say, whoa, this guy's Stone Cold. He's a badass. And by the end of that whole exchange, they're actually cheering for Austin and booing Bret Hart a little bit. And that's such an interesting way to kind of just not even manipulate your audience, just to capture the audience emotion, just to change it like a moment like that. That's really beautiful storytelling. And the way the match ends is basically Stone Cold just passes out. He never even taps. He, because of the blood that's like dripping from his face, he just passes out. And that is badass. Okay, you cannot convince me otherwise. That is a badass way to lose a match. And that kind of just cemented the Stone Cold's character. That, you know, he was indeed a toughest SOB to ever walk the planet, you know? And then it ends off with him winning his WWE Championship from Shawn Michaels, who at the time was injured. But that's for another video. And, you know, that's where the Stone Cold era starts. He's the champion now. He's the biggest face. He has so much support. And this is where, like, the Monday Night Raw is about to, like, war is about to kind of shift momentum. So then we move to Disc 3. And, you know, we have, like, great matches like Stone Cold versus Dude Love, Stone Cold versus Undertaker, Big Show. And then the disc ends off with the second best match on the disc. Well, first, ranking-wise, I'd have to kind of sit down and rewatch both matches and just see it. But Stone Cold versus The Rock at WrestleMania 17. Now, like I said earlier, I think that's their best encounter. The Stone Cold Rock feud was definitely one of the most important aspects of the Attitude Era, because you had these two heel faces just kind of facing off each other. The first encounter was WrestleMania 15. And when I say encounter, I mean the WrestleMania matches. I know they've met before, but this is like the WrestleMania matches, I guess. It's kind of like a trilogy, kind of like a story time. The first one, Rock was a heel, Stone Cold was face, obviously. Second one, Rock was a face, Stone Cold was a face. So two big stars at their momentum are facing off each other. And that's like very rare to see. And that just made the storytelling of the match even more beautiful. Every single match, you're hooked. You knew, like, you could tell that the chemistry is amazing. You knew these guys hated each other. And one thing I loved was The Rock always overselling the stunner that always got a chuckle out of me no matter what. But yeah, that match was amazing. And it ended with a twist that not a lot of people really like. Some people do, some people don't. Stone Cold turning heel. So that's interesting. And it was just a beautiful story to tell. And WrestleMania 19, which is the third encounter in Stone Cold's last match, was also great. I'm not going to lie. But if I had to choose, I think 17, because of just the circumstance and just how popular both of them were. Because they were both in their prime, too. You know, I think that's very important to say. And then, yeah, so that's Disc 3. And then Disc 4 kind of ends off with, like I said, the promos. Now, there's a reason why this is so interesting, because a lot of wrestlers have promos. They always, in their career, they will have at least one or two good segments, promos, whatever. Stone Cold had a lot, because he was a good talker. He was very charismatic. So Disc 4 is basically every single promo, segment, anything he's appeared in that was memorable. And there's so much that they actually made a disc out of it. You know, so one example is the Tyson and Austin. So it's when Vince brought in, like, you know, Mike Tyson to kind of be the special guest of WrestleMania 14. And then, you know, Austin being Austin and at the top of his prime, it was great to see, because you saw Tyson and Austin, the baddest man versus the toughest SOB, you know, and it was such great storytelling and such a good way to, you know, show that his character was indeed, like, you know, this badass, you know, punk talking. And then Zamboni 316, where he just drove the Zamboni to the arena. McMahon's Cement Corvette. Just, that's pretty much self-explanatory. It really essentially just brought in all of Austin's best. And segments, promos, and all that stuff. And it's really great to see as a fan, because sometimes this stuff isn't really on YouTube, or it's hard to find. So the fact that you have it on DVD, it's not bad. And I mean, even the WWE Network must carry it too. Like I said, I know I'm very much behind on the whole, you know, even I have the WWE Network. So, you know, and like I said, when I first started this channel, I think I remember saying, I'll say it again, my collection was always meant to be limited. I'm not really that hardcore DVD collector where you see they have every one of them. And the reason because is, you know, a lot of the matches are very repetitive. And I try to avoid that. It's hard to avoid it, because, you know, The Rock versus Stone Cold WrestleMania 17, and then I have WrestleMania 17 on DVD. You know, some of them are unavoidable, but I genuinely I don't like how they kind of mix. And honestly, some DVDs are just not worth collecting. Like, some of the pay-per-views are just not worth collecting to have in a collection. So for me, I'd rather have like memorable, good ones. And I did a WWE DVD collection like 5 years ago when my place was still like this. So, you know, if you want to know what I have, just check out that. It really hasn't changed. Maybe I've got a couple more that haven't shown. I did pick out an NXT one. Maybe I'll talk about that next time. But you know, but yeah. So altogether, this set is amazing. And what's really funny is I bought this about, it was 2020, right? I bought this about 2013, I want to say, so about 7 years ago, and I got it for a good price. I got it for about $12, $13. I know, this 4-disc set I got for $12, $13 on Amazon. Today, when you look this set up, $57. And I'm just like, and I think 2 reasons. First, Stone Cold's a legend, obviously. It's been a long time. You know, he's like, you know, obviously it's going to get more expensive because, you know, the demand for it is going up. But also, I think because DVDs are very rare now. So this technically is a rare DVD. Because, like I said, everything's already online. But if you're a DVD collector, which is already kind of just like very low, but you still find a copy, someone's going to charge the shit out of you for it. So, you know, I'm kind of glad I started doing when I did and I stopped when I did. Because, you know, once that, you know, that era of DVD buying is over, I don't really buy DVDs anymore because no one really uses it. I watch it, you know, sometimes when I want to throw through this, or like I said, WWE Network, I just put it on and I'm good. You know, I started collecting before the WWE Network even came to fruition. When I started collecting, because I remember they announced WWE Network in 2012. I remember this very clearly, but they didn't launch it until it was like a year and a half later because they just had a lot of problems with it. And, you know, once that happened, I still, you know, I was still collecting, I was still doing my thing. I just realized that, whatever, you know. But yeah, but if you're a DVD collector, this is a great thing to have in your edition collection. And yeah, like I said, if you have the W Network, just check it out. The documentary is great, and I think you can also watch the matches too, so that's even better because it's all the best matches that he has had in his career, and I think that's, like I said, it's very rare sometimes to kind of just look it up and find. But you know, I think it's like a once in a lifetime kind of experience when you have the DVD. So yeah, like I said, the W Network's really ruining the style of this video, but whatever, I don't care. But you know, always DVD gang right here. You know, so I'm lucky I wasn't collecting VCRs. I'd be screwed then because that just went out way out of style. So yeah, that was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kind of like my review on it. It just, you know, if I had to rate it, I'd give it probably like a 9 out of 10 because just the pure material that they focus on is just amazing. And I think that addition of that 4th extra bonus disc was a very nice plus too. And, you know, because there's another Stone Cold actually DVD. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend this if you do get it. It's 4 disc set. It's amazing. You know, and it's just a great way to kind of learn more about a favorite wrestler. He's definitely one of my favorite wrestlers. So it's great to know and learn and find out how things happen the way they happened. So yeah, that was Reviews with Ramon. I just, you know, the whole concept, you know, I know I change it time to time, but, you know, I think it's nice doing it like this. You know, like I said, I'm not a big editing man. You know, you know, I am funny, but, you know, doing the sketches, I feel like it takes a lot of time, and it's very exhausting. So I like just going simple. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. You know, I'll try doing this maybe weekly. And, you know, if you have any suggestions of a WWE thing, like I said, I have WWE Network. So if I don't have it on DVD, I could probably watch it on WWE Network. I'd love to watch it, get back to you. If you have a movie, yeah, I do movie reviews too. If you have a movie you want me to watch, I'll definitely watch it. You know, give my ideas, give my thoughts on how it is, and yeah. I hope everyone stays safe. These are very trying times, but stay home, and then we will get our summer back, hopefully. All right. Thank you guys, and take care.